Hello everyone, welcome to How-FixIT. If the camera control button or power button on your iPhone 16 Pro Max is not working, stuck, broken, or not clicky, this step-by-step guide will show you how to replace them and fix the issue. Let's get started and restore your phone's functionality. Before starting, let's review the tools required for this repair. A screwdriver set, tweezers, plastic pry tools, a suction cup, a screen disassembly tool, essential for easing the separation of the screen from the device, waterproof adhesive tape and battery adhesive strips. I've provided links to all tools and replacement parts in the video description below. For the best results, I advise using a magnetic mat to organize screws and small parts throughout the disassembly process, especially for repairing a device like an iPhone 16 Pro Max. This will make the reassembly much easier, and you don't have to worry about the screws getting lost. They will all securely adhere to the magnetic mat. Now, let's get started. Start by pressing and holding the volume up and power buttons to turn off your iPhone. Remove the two screws located near the charging port. Use a hairdryer to warm the back glass for about a minute until it's warm to the touch. If you have a heat gun, set it to 90 degrees Celsius. This temperature is safe for the glass and will soften the adhesive. Place a suction cup near the bottom edge of the back glass, then gently lift. Insert a blade edge into the small gap between the chassis and the glass to carefully separate the adhesive and create a gap for inserting a plastic tool. Heat each edge of the back glass as you work around it, and don't insert your tool deeper than 3 mm to avoid damaging internal components. Remember, a well-warmed surface is the key to successful back glass removal. Ensure the surface stays warm as you work around the edges. This helps make adhesive removal easier. At the top of the back glass, two metal hinges hold it to the chassis. When opening this area, use a pry tool to gently slide the back glass down, releasing it from these hinges. Carefully lift the back glass, being mindful of the table attached to the logic board. Remove the screws securing the battery and back glass connector covers. Using a plastic spudger, disconnect the battery and back glass cables. Unscrew and remove the Taptic engine cover. Disconnect the Taptic engine cable and carefully peel it away. Remove the Taptic engine. Remove the screws securing the bottom speaker. Remove the bottom speaker. The battery is held by 3 stretch-release adhesive strips. To remove the battery, you need to carefully pull these adhesive strips. Use tweezers to peel down the black pull tab at the end of the adhesive strip. Remember, very carefully use sharp tools near the battery to avoid puncturing it, using blood-nose tweezers to grab the pull tab and slowly pull it away from the battery. Be patient. Pull slowly to allow the adhesive to stretch and release. If an adhesive strip breaks and can't be retrieved, apply a small amount of isopropyl alcohol beneath the battery. Let it sit for a minute to soften the adhesive, then remove the battery. Remove the battery. Remove the screws securing the ear speaker and remove it. Remove the Face ID module. Remove the screws securing the LiDAR sensor and remove it. Remove the screws holding the camera module. Remove the camera module. To safely remove the logic board without damaging the screen cables, we first need to remove the display. Use a hair dryer to gently heat the bottom edge of the iPhone for around 1 minute until the screen is warm to the touch. If you're using a heat gun, set it to 80 degrees Celsius. This will soften the adhesive without risking screen damage. Place the suction cup near the bottom edge of the screen and gently pull it up. Insert the blade edge into the thin gap between the screen and the frame. Apply slow, steady pressure to separate the screen. If the screen is still difficult to lift, apply more heat and try again until you make a sufficient gap to insert a plastic spudger. Remember, a well-warmed screen is the key to successful display removal. Heat each edge of the screen as you work around it, and don't insert your tool deeper than 3 mm to avoid damaging internal components. Two metal hinges secure the display at the top. When opening this area, use a pry tool to gently slide the display down to release it from these hinges. Carefully lift the screen, mindful of the cables connecting it to the main board. Remove the screws securing the brackets over the front sensor and display connectors. Using a plastic spudger, disconnect the front sensor and display cables from the main board. Next, return to the motherboard area and remove the SIM card tray. Disconnect all cables attached to the logic board, then unscrew the 4 screws securing it. Carefully lift the logic board out of the housing. Now, let's move on to removing the panel with the power button and camera control button. Remove the screws securing the button flex cable to the chassis. Since the cable is glued to the chassis, gently detach it to avoid damage. Once detached, you can remove the button flex cable. The mechanical control button and the power button are integrated into the same flex cable. If either button is not working, replacing this flex cable should resolve the issue. However, note that the control button consists of a mechanical component and a sensor. The sensor is welded to the chassis, making it nearly impossible to replace without also replacing the housing. Additionally, the touch-sensitive function of the control button is tied to your Apple ID. Therefore, when replacing the mid-frame housing assembly that includes the control button, calibration with the repair assistant is required. Let's proceed with installing the new button flex cable and reassembling the iPhone. During iPhone reassembly, using the wrong screws can cause misalignment, strip threads, or electrical shorts, while dust or debris on connectors may lead to unreliable connections or short circuits. Always track screws, clean connectors with an anti-static brush, and double-check cable connections to avoid malfunctions like unresponsive components, overheating, or the need for reassembly. Attention to these details ensures a successful and reliable repair. Now it's time to install the battery. Attach new adhesive strips to the back of the battery. These strips will hold the battery securely in place while still allowing for easy removal if you need to replace it again in the future. Carefully place the new battery into the housing, ensuring that the battery cable connector aligns perfectly with the socket on the logic board. Once in place, press down slightly to secure the battery with the adhesive strips. Once everything is reassembled, power on your iPhone and test all functions. Test the buttons to make sure they are working correctly. Now that we've verified everything is working, let's proceed to restore water resistance. First, remove the old adhesive tape from the iPhone's frame. Once the iPhone is opened, the adhesive tape loses its sealing properties and can no longer protect your device from water and dust. To restore water resistance, you'll need to apply new waterproof sealing tape around the frame. However, if you don't have the new adhesive tape on hand, it's best to leave the old tape in place until you're ready to replace it. Use isopropyl alcohol, 91% or higher, on a cotton swab to clean any remaining adhesive. This is important for better adhesion of waterproof sealing tape. Ensure you're applying the tape on the correct side and that it aligns precisely with the edges of the iPhone frame. Carefully position the new adhesive sealing tape around the frame. Make sure the tape aligns with the edges. Use a plastic spudger to press down the adhesive tape around the perimeter of the frame. Once the tape is in place, grab the small pull tab and peel off the front liner to expose the adhesive. Use a rubber blower to remove any dust from camera lenses for a clean, professional finish. Reconnect the back glass cable, then the battery, and secure it with screws. Press down around the edges to seal the back glass. Let's move on to restoring the sealing adhesive tape on the display. Remove the old adhesive tape from the iPhone frame and clean any remaining adhesive with isopropyl alcohol. Use isopropyl alcohol, 91% or higher, on a cotton swab to clean any remaining adhesive. Carefully align the adhesive sealing tape with the iPhone frame and press it into place with a spudger. Reconnect the display and sensor connectors and secure the brackets with screws. Press down around the screen edges to ensure a snug fit. Finally, fasten the 2 screws near the charging port to complete the assembly. If you found this guide helpful, give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more tech tips and guides. Visit our website for more tech insights and do-it-yourself guides. Remember, every tech challenge is an opportunity to learn and grow, and we're here to guide you. The repair is complete. Thank you for watching How-FixIT, and we'll see you next time.